Hello, this is going to be a shoulder and arm workout. The workout will be listed in the description box below. Just wanted to give you guys some tips and tricks that I use when training shoulders and arms. So first workout was dumbbell shoulder press. When I'm doing this, I make sure I try to keep my arms at a 90-degree angle or in line with my body to avoid bringing my front delt into it. You'll notice if your front delt is stronger than your rear or lateral delts, that your elbows will try to come forward when you're doing a shoulder press movement. So try to keep your elbows back and your arms in line with your body, and that should help target the medial head. And also when I'm pressing, I don't just do a straight up and down movement. You'll notice that the dumbbells also go in over my head a little bit, but I do not touch them together, because if you touch them together, you'll be losing tension. And I drop then my arms just below 90 degrees on the bottom portion of the exercise. All right, what do we got next? Next was behind the neck barbell press. I do behind the neck, like I said earlier, it keeps my front delt out of it, and I'm actually doing 2 shoulder days a week now. One is more front delt dominant, and this one's just a few pressing movements. So I did this behind the neck standing, keeping my core engaged, and same thing, just trying to keep my elbows back to target the rear and lateral heads instead of the front delt. If you don't have good shoulder mobility, these might bother your shoulders a little bit, so you might want to work on that before adding any behind the neck stuff into your workouts. You should be able to comfortably drop it behind your head, almost down to your traps without any shoulder pain. So if these do cause any shoulder pain, don't do them, but if they're fine, I think it's a good workout to add in for sure. Next was lateral raises. You notice I don't bring my arms above 90 degrees. If you bring your hands above your elbows, that creates a lot of torque in your shoulder joint, and that can cause shoulder pain. So without using momentum to swing them up, just bring it just below 90 degrees, and you should get a good squeeze in the lateral head. And what I try to think of when I'm doing them is to pull from my pinkies. You'll notice that'll keep pressure on your middle delt and try to keep the front out of it. And opposite, if you were trying to hit a little more of the front delt, if you pull through your thumb and index finger, you might feel it in your front delts a little bit more. So go lightweight on these. Try to keep your hands below your elbows, and that'll help reduce torque on the shoulder joint. So that's all I did for shoulders, because I already had a shoulder day this week, so I moved on to 2 bicep movements. First one is barbell curls. You'll notice I go just below full extension to keep tension on the bicep. If you let your arm go all the way down, you'll lose tension on the bicep and won't be getting any work. So I do the same thing on the way up and down. Go right before full extension and right before full flexion, and that'll keep maximum tension on your biceps throughout the workout. Also avoid using momentum, swinging your hips and your lower back to get the weight up. You want to have your elbows pinned to your side and just do the curling motion to get as much tension on the bicep as possible. So that was one function of the bicep, is the arm flexion, and then had to get in a supination movement. So I did dumbbell curls, and so that's the other function of your bicep that you want to make sure you're hitting, is that supination movement there, or curling your palm upwards. And you want to be doing the supination in the middle of flexion. If you supinate before your arm is in flexion, you'll just be using your supinator muscles. You'll notice if your arm is flexed out straight and you supinate your hand, your bicep barely moves. But if you do it, if you supinate while your arm is in flexion, you'll get a lot more shortening of the bicep. So that helps fully contract and shorten your bicep, so you get a full contraction every rep. And then pronate on the way back down slowly. Nice controlled reps on the way up and on the way down. So you'll notice that I don't just drop the weight after the top portion. I make sure I control it on the way down on the eccentric portion of the lift, and that I try to flex my tricep a little bit on the way down, because that's what's going to slow down the weight so it doesn't just drop right down, and can get a full arm burn if you really go nice and slow with it. So that was it for biceps, and this is actually one of my favorite tricep movements. I already hit triceps earlier in the week, so I only did this one exercise, but using these handles on the tricep pull down, feels a lot better on my wrists than using the rope. I feel like I can keep my wrists in a more safe position. Once again, trying to keep my elbows close tucked to my side as I can, getting a full extension on the bottom, hold it for 1 second, and then a nice slow controlled eccentric on the way back up. So that's all I did for triceps, because I hit them earlier in the week with chest. And to finish off my biceps, I did body weight chin-ups. I tried to do as much bicep as possible. Normally when I do is on back day, I would try to do the opposite. So I just had my arms about shoulder width and try to do the same kind of curling movement that I would do with curls, but bringing my body to the bar. I kind of use these as a barometer of how good I hit my biceps. So I do a few sets of these to failure, and that usually brings me to complete muscle fatigue. So that was the workout. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow my Instagram for more content. Thank you.